Like I want to see like one of the baddest dudes from their side versus one of the baddest dudes from our side. Like, what's the skill cap? Like, what is the top of this mountain that Tanjiro is looking to climb?
I could look at Tanjiro all day. I shit you not. I think he's one of the best drawn characters in anime, period, to me. He's so cute.
I think an alien impersonating a human, huh? I had to think about it. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Mark Zuckerberg has entered the chat.
Yeah, with the lizard shit that he does.
Jeez. I feel like Demon Slayer, even if it does stuff that's been done, they do it so well that it's like, it still hit me. Like, you know, there's specific things you can do that make it its own.
He's always thinking of other people, man. It is insane. He's so well written, it hurts.
Yeah, dude, that is absurdly good writing. It's Tanjiro's character to a T, like you're saying.
I was like, is that allowed? I didn't know.
Is that allowed?
It was. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 59 of the Unboxing Life podcast. We are going to be discussing the new Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train, in its entirety. So if you don't want any spoilers, please turn back now. Go back to Tokyo or wherever they were from. I think they were going to Tokyo, so go back from where they came. Do not listen to our podcast. Come back when you've seen it, though. It's fire. But I am joined by none other than my three best boys, and they are one Hooligan Train.
Oh, that's me. What's up, everybody?
What is up, baby? We got David Slayer.
What's up? Easy play on the title, man.
To be honest, I thought of Doom Slayer when I saw that for half a second.
Yeah.
And I've also got sea-breathing ninth form Rengoku. How you doing, fam?
It is an art that, when mastered, can push the limits of the human form.
Oh my god!
Nice. Very true.
And we are the Unboxing Life podcast. Let's jump into some tradition. Why don't we before we get into this plot discussion of this wonderful movie?
Review this baby. All right.
I'm gonna go last. So I want to hear David's track of the week or track of the episode.
Track of the week will be an easy, simple one. It's Garenge by Lisa from the opening of the season 1, because I'm just hyped on Demon Slayer and I'm like, we lit. And they had a Lisa song.
I was so pissed that it didn't play.
But they did have like a Lisa song in the end credits, I think it was.
Gotcha.
Which was nice too. But yeah.
I didn't even stay for the whole end credits.
I did for like the song. It was like a few minutes and then
Gotcha.
It was nice.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best anime opening songs for me, for my personal taste. I love that song, so good pick.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear the joke. Give us the joke, Hooligan.
I got the joke. Okay. All right, this one is coming from the Reddit user the Sky Guy UK. The Sky Guy UK. Shout out to you.
Okay. Shout out Sky Guy.
All right, so he brought to my attention the world. I don't know if you guys heard, but the world tongue twister champion, he just got arrested.
Oh, God.
I hear they're going to give him a really tough sentence.
Oh, Jesus.
Nice. That's a good one.
That one was not cringe at all. I loved it.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was good.
It took me like a good 2 seconds, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
very, very nice. I'll give you the golf clap.
Shout out to you, Sensible Sky Guy UK.
Sensible Sky Guy.
Yeah. Shout out,
Sky Guy UK.
Goodness.
Shit. Every time someone says sensible, I think of my fucking Instagram. So just ruin that word for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think of it too.
True. All right, baby. Let's give the good old fact. Give me the fact.
The good old facts. We got a train fact for the Mugen Train movie.
Nice.
Trains, of course, being very essential to the daily life in Japan. And that is evidenced by the fact that 45 of the world's 51 busiest train stations are in Japan. With Shinjuku Station in Tokyo being the world's single busiest train station. Busiest, I believe, meaning by the amount of people that move through the station on a day-to-day basis. So
Man.
I've played Persona, and I can fully attest to that fact. And I'm actually wearing a Persona shirt, so we lit.
Hey,
go.
nice. Yeah, I can't imagine what that's like. I
That's
saw
Arsendo?
what is
What?
it?
I said, is that Arsendo?
It's Arsene, baby.
Damn.
That's
Dang.
Arsene, baby.
The
What do you say,
aerial
David?
shots, the aerial shots of Tokyo. I saw one recently. They're freaking insane, man.
They're nuts.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nothing but city for miles.
Yep.
Yeah,
literal miles.
that's
It kind of puts New York to shame in terms of sheer size.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it
is the
described
biggest
as
city ever.
yeah.
in the
I've heard it described as New York on top of New York. So
dang.
Fivefold. I think New York or Tokyo has what, like 60 mil? It's like stupid.
That's a lot.
couldn't tell it off the top of my head, but it is it's up there
Yeah.
for sure.
It is the mega city of the world. But
That's
and we are going to be discussing one of its beautiful products, which is anime.
there you go. Straight
So
from Japan.
one more time, please do not watch the rest of this video unless you have, or listen to this podcast unless you have watched this movie, because it's awesome and we don't want to spoil it for you. Unless you're Brian. Shout out to you, Brian.
Yeah, he won't care.
Brian will say,
He
"Fuck
already
you,
read
we're
it.
gonna watch it."
He already read about it. He
Yeah, you
knows.
probably read about it, and you don't even watch anime.
He's not connected to the characters.
All
He did not read the manga. He read the Wikipedia.
No, but wait, I forgot. I have a tradition as well. So
Yeah.
I told the boys that I needed some participation from them. So y'all ready?
Yeah, your quote of the week, man.
So
or the
my
episode.
quote of the week is. Dude, I hope it went through. I really hope it went through.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say it again, just in case it didn't go through. But my quote of the week is "Sheesh!" And I guess I'll talk about it now. We'll just get into it. When Alex and I and Rocio went to go see Demon Slayer, I had it in me. I had to say "sheesh" before the movie started, and it was like right as I think after the Funimation logo shined.
Yeah.
And I just said "sheesh," and then like you hear a cascade of like at least 8 people like just start laughing and then saying "sheesh" with me. It lasted for like a good 8 seconds. It was fire.
That's dope, man.
But
Yes.
stupid me. I can't prove it. I had Snapchat open and I didn't record it. I don't know why I didn't, but
Yeah.
we out here
Yeah.
making mistakes.
We believe you.
Before I forget, I'm gonna read the bot review. So
Oh,
on our
true.
most recent Anime Box episode, Attack on Titan Season 1, we had a bot leave a comment. And it's a stupid link. Don't click the link. And followed by a paragraph of Japanese. So what did I do? I took the Japanese and I translated it. And this is what it has to say. Thank you for the reorganization of the live stream. The live broadcast on this day was ridiculous. More than 10,000 people were watching it. Laughs.
Laughs.
After all, carrots are the best.
Okay.
I had
I was
carrots for dinner.
thrilled
Hmm.
that I forgot to turn off the camera and did one. Heart?
Oh,
No, a bunch of hearts.
And did one.
and did
What the
one.
And did one, yeah.
Wink, wink,
He
nudge,
did,
nudge.
he did exactly what we were talking about, and he didn't turn the stream off. He just did it.
Yeah.
He did a carrot.
Good God.
Is that it? Is that the whole
I think
message?
so. Yeah.
Shout
Well,
out to homie.
The whole half of it is too. The next half of it is entirely too long and just nonsense. So go translate that if you
Well,
want to laugh.
Don't
but
click the link though.
yeah, we appreciate our reviews from our artist from that was one of the members of Daft Punk left that one of the bots, one of the robots.
the Japanese version of Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Well, if you would like to give us a review on Apple Podcasts, we would appreciate it very much.
Hmm.
That's all I had to say.
Yes, we will read it out. We appreciate it.
Very
We will
good.
read it out.
And speaking of real reviews by real humans, let's jump into it. boy.
So
Yeah.
what y'all think, man? What y'all fucking think, man? How y'all feeling, bro? Come on, give me it right now. No pause. Give me that shit.
I just saw it about an hour ago.
Okay. Yeah, you got out of what, like?
Well, yeah, I guess like 7:30.
7:30?
There was a mad amount of trailers. I hadn't been to a theater in a minute, and they were just
Dude,
like,
it's like
Yeah.
15 minutes long.
stacking them on now that theaters are back in business. God
I
damn.
saw the Fast 9 trailer, which has me really hyped.
Oh yeah.
I love me the movies. The movies are
I'm
fire.
hyped for it, low key.
Those movies are so fucking fun, bro.
Low key, we got John Cena as Vin Diesel's brother.
Yes.
God.
Let's go.
And my man is in Suicide Squad. Did y'all see that trailer too?
No.
That shit
Dang.
looks even
John
worse
Cena
than
is
the
killing
original.
the game.
I ain't even
killing
gonna lie.
Worse than the original.
It's kind of ass cheeks.
Yo, was that a joke, David, that you didn't see John Cena in Suicide Squad?
Oh my God.
That was not an attempt at a joke. It was just
Jesus.
a fact.
Dang.
Yes, man. It was crazy to see the Funimation thing flash on the screen
Dude, oh
on
my
a big screen. We were
I'm not gonna lie, I got really hard when I saw that. I was like, bruh. And then it does the Aniplex thing too.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
it's the real, man. And seeing UFO Table up there, like, you know, the real like production company, like right before it.
Yeah.
it kept driving me insane every time it was like an UFO production. Because
Hell
it's
yeah.
like, bruh, it's a but I don't know.
Wait.
It doesn't read
It's
right, even though
UFO table?
it should be correct. What?
Is UFO table?
What, you
I
thought it was like UFO table?
nah.
I read it as ufotable.
Yeah, same. In my head, I read it as ufotable, but I don't think it matters, so I just don't worry about it.
It could be that. It could be that too. I don't know.
UFO
Like,
table makes sense, but
Yeah,
Yeah, I think no one gives a shit.
yeah,
But-
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I read it as ufotable, but it like I'm not going to correct you for saying UFO table because
Right.
But A, it doesn't matter, and B, it's like whatever. So yeah.
Perfect, correct. Yeah.
But yes, it was cool because like you're used to seeing that on your phone or TV at home like over and over and over again. So to see it on the big screen as like this is a real production in a real theater, that kind of thing is like a weird sort of magic to it. Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
Continue.
Do we just want to jump right into plot, or I think we have that
we should get
saying.
one-
Yeah, we got that little story that we had. So
yeah, we got to get one thing out the way.
yeah, we were supposed to see it at 7:45, right? And we get there, and like Alex and I are having some trouble on our phone. We can't order the tickets, and we're thinking that it's just the website's bugging out. We call ahead. We're like, hey, can one of us come and grab the tickets? It's a rated R movie. I don't know how y'all feel about that. And they're like, yeah, you should be fine. You're good. So we get up there, and they get there before I do. I was like 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
And they're just sitting out in the front door, and I'm just like, what is happening? And he's like, fam, we can't buy it because the protocol for COVID doesn't allow them to buy tickets or buy seats. Like so when you buy a seat, you have to have 2 seats on the sides. Like they have to be spaced out. So you buy 1 seat and it nullifies 5, basically is what happens.
But the problem is it doesn't even nullify it, so it still shows you those seats are available. So you're clicking on it like, what the hell? It's available, but it's not letting me buy it.
Right.
But the system was jank.
It was awful. So we were just like, Alex drove all this way. We're going to go see this movie. The next showing was 9:55, and we're just like, we're hyped because we look online and there's plenty of seats available. We even go inside. We buy it, $52 for 3 tickets. It was $17 a piece because we got the fucking.
It was the XL theater. Yeah.
It was XL, yeah. So we got that, and we didn't even think about it until we sat down. What if this is dub? And I think Rocio was the one that planted the seed, and she's like,
did it.
"Yo, what if this is dub?" And I'm just I look at her and I'm like, "Wait, no." I'm like, "Nah, there's no way this is dub, right?" Like, I've been hyped the whole day. I wanted to hear Tanjiro. I wanted to hear his beautiful voice, right? And all the flash screens come on, like you see UFO table, you see Funimation, everything's fine and dandy, and then you hear Homie in the very beginning start talking, and there's no subtitles, and I'm like, okay, wait, I have benefit of the doubt, he's talking Japanese, maybe they didn't even have to translate it because he's just saying Japanese names, right? It was fucking dope, man. Oh my god,
yo,
dude, literally, Homie, I was like this, I was like, it's not happening right now. It can't be happening.
Homie was flabbergasted for the first 5 minutes of the movie, just speechless at the screen. I was
geeked. I was so geeked. I was pissed.
Dang.
Oh my god, that is actually devastating.
For this movie is dog shit. Oh my god.
Dang. Wow.
That's fucking brutal.
Did either of you watch it for season 1? I know, I guess Trevor didn't, but
I think Alex did, right?
I will say I did watch it in season 1 dub. I was fully going into this movie with the expectation to watch it in sub. And so I too was surprised when it was in dub. And I gotta say, I like the dub of the show. And it stop me from enjoying the movie. I enjoyed the movie a lot, but I will say there's stuff I noticed about the dub in the movie that I don't think represents the show as good as it does. Like they kind of fell off in some aspects, I think. So
Dang.
I don't know if it's because I haven't seen the show in a long time in dub, or if I don't know. But if I'm remembering correctly, the movie dub they fell off a bit. I have to say.
That's rough.
Inusuke's trash in there. Zenitsu's unbearable. Like they
Which
just
is crazy
they
because Inosuke is dope in the show.
he's insane in the show.
They made him super bombastic for like no reason. I don't know.
He's just like slapstick humor, like, ugh. But they like watching the sub. Like I got out of that movie and I was like joyful. I was like, oh my god, thank God I watched this in sub. And
Damn.
like, but I'm not like one of those guys that's just like sub over everything. Like this was just like. It's just childish and immature. Like I kind of want y'all to experience the dub because it dumbs down so many of those beautifully sophisticated descriptive lines that the sub has, and it just dumbs it down to this like 12-year-old like American audience, and it's like, bruh, this is like the show is so mature, and then it's yucky as hell in dub. It's so gross.
Yeah, giving dubs a bad name. That's because that's a big representation for anime. Like you know.
I don't know.
I can't imagine because I mean the thing that I'm like flashing to is this. I mean this back half of the movie when it's Hashira versus Upper Moon or whatever, right? They do a lot of back and forth and monologuing about like the fragility and beauty of human life and stuff like that, which is what I can see. Like if you didn't have access to full vocabulary because you're trying to match lip movements, then that can get like pretty 12-year-old, like you say, pretty fast, I guess. Like it would
Very
sound
fast.
not quite as eloquent when you have the uphill battle of having to match lip movements and stuff like that. So that's I mean, we talked about that I think previously, the sort of double-edged sword that is trying to dub something like that. Yeah. And it sucks to hear that they didn't, in your opinion, pull it off.
They definitely didn't, dude. I got out of there. I was like, that shit was so bad. It left a horrible taste in my mouth. I was like, I have to see this movie again. I'm paying for another ticket.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
There's no way I'm reviewing this in dub. Yeah, so the dub for this movie is dog shit. I'm so glad that I saw this in sub.
Yeah, the sub is excellent, man. I mean, it's just so good. Come on.
Oh my god. I want to shit on the dub really quick though, because like homie, like at the very end, we're just gonna skip right this real quick. But every time he like sends his breathing techniques and all that shit, every time he says it in English, I want to hang myself. I want to shoot my brains out. I hate it so much. Rising scorching sun. Shut the fuck up, man. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
That's the thing about
dude.
Like,
wait, let me get this shit off though, bro. Like when he's in, like when he first shows up and he just dashes through the train. When he puts his head down and he whispers flame breathing, I was like, yes, in sub, like, oh my god, it was so fucking hard, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
that is true.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, no, I think it just sounds a lot of the time just one-to-one better in Japanese, the whole like naming convention of moves and stuff like that. I think it largely benefits from like that's what I was saying. Is like for when you hear it in English, you're like kind of reminded of like some cringe anime kid who like actually ran around like yelling like names of moves and like but he was just the nerdiest, weakest, dumb kid ever. And so you relate like hearing English move sound callouts with that sort of stereotype. Whereas like when they're very seriously saying it in Japanese, it sounds like way more artful and serious.
It's
so I think there's a few reasons why that's the case. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I prefer the Japanese.
Yeah. They kind of put like a thought in my head where it's like, do people in Japan watching in Japanese,
do they cringe?
Think that it's cringe in Japanese? Like, what is this man talking about his breathing form? Like, could you imagine?
I'm sure there's plenty of people that feel that way.
Yeah, I've thought of that. Like, how good is the voice acting really if we don't speak the language? Can we tell? I think we can to a certain extent, but
I think we can too.
Yeah, but there's some theories that like you can't really tell. Like there's this old video game from the 90s that has terrible English voice acting, and like the Japanese audience thought it was like fine, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm more with the theory that we tell. I mean, when it's so good, what can you do? Like in Demon Slayer,
Yeah.
Right.
You know
Demon
when you
Slayer
hear it.
has some fucking absolute fire casts. Like
Yeah.
Inosuke is so great. Tanjiro, he's so cute, right? So like in dub, it's just like it's fine. You know, you just get to see his beautiful face, and you hear his mouth talk, and you're like, man, can you shut the fuck up? But then you hear
know
him
about
in
that.
Japanese, and he
So harsh.
turns so kawaii, bruh. He's so. I could look at Tanjiro all day. I shit you not. I think he's one of the best drawn characters in anime. Period. To me, he
Dang.
is so cute.
That's good. This
It
show
is.
is top tier character design for sure. I mean, this show and movie, I guess, this whole series. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I'm
goddamn.
up there with that as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to bring up dub anymore because I don't want to be that guy. I've become
Yeah.
what I hated. I can't watch. I was watching Shippuden, right? I watched it with y'all. I was
Mhm.
kind of cringing,
Dang.
and I love Naruto and dub, and I was
think
cringing.
I think the Naruto dub is pretty great. It's. I mean, I get it. If you're on that sub hype train, I feel like maybe you run around in certain dubs you can appreciate after a while. But hey, you know, whatever you enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Like Bebop.
Yeah,
Bebop was
yeah,
great. Death Note is
Mhm.
great too. There's some obviously fire dubs, but
yeah, for sure. But
I don't think I'm ever gonna voluntarily watch a dub. But let's move on from that topic because I could go
Yeah.
on.
I mean, this was very hyped. I mean, do we start out with like, did it live up to your expectations? You know.
I got
What's
exactly
going
what
on?
I wanted, honestly. I got
Okay.
exactly what I expected. I didn't watch any of the promotional material at all. I didn't
Mhm.
even watch the trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
And it felt like 6 episodes of Demon Slayer, which is exactly what I thought I was going to get.
Yeah. Or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. It was
They
a
could
lot.
fit all that happen in like 6 episodes. And I was like, when I was watching it in sub, I was like playing a game with myself, trying to figure out like where they would cut it for the episodes.
Yeah.
Because there were a few points where it's like, okay, it's leading up to another dope fight, you know, like
I noticed
they
that
could cut
too.
it right
Yeah.
here.
There's a
Yeah.
few parts they could cut it. Yeah, for sure.
How'd you guys
Yeah.
feel
I
about it?
kinda-
Like,
I
overall?
kind of, I slightly disagree in the sense that if I had to be critical, I would say that other than the fact that the Hashira dies at the end, that if you watch season 2 of Demon Slayer when it comes out, you wouldn't have to watch the movie at all to know what's going on. Like I thought it was really gonna really drive the plot forward, and it was fun to watch. I had a great time watching it, and it was dope to see the main one of the top upper tier demons come out
Yeah.
in that fight. But I was kind of expecting it to go more with the story than I know it was with the train, but I didn't realize it was the whole time on the train. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just me.
I know what you're saying, but I definitely expected them to be on the train the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie.
I had heard that was like there's like a whole arc on the train, so I was prepared for it. But I
Yeah.
Me
do
too.
agree with you. I do agree with that. Like it wasn't. There was not as much plot moving forward as I expected. It be like to me this movie. I like by the end I realized it's like the story of that Hashiro and like the time he saved an entire train, which is just dope.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, other
Yeah.
than that, like yeah.
I think it's an incredibly self-contained movie. And like
Yeah.
you said, they'll probably recap for 5 minutes during the first episode of season 2, and you won't have to watch the movie. But I will say I respect them for not explaining anything
Yes.
in the movie at all.
Yeah.
They just went on. Like they didn't explain a thing, a lick of the show. If you had no idea who Nezuko was, you had no idea what the fuck was happening, where she was in a box.
Yep.
You had no idea like of their breathing techniques, any of that, why they were going on the train. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, for sure. It would have interrupted it a lot if they had tried to
Yeah.
do that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
will
like,
say.
it's like any sequel with continuity.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but even sequel movies will take time to explain it. They didn't do any explaining. They just went.
Yeah, it was like they would like say, okay, this is like, the breathing techniques. It was like maybe they have a little bit of nuggets in there for people who have no freaking clue what breathing means or whatever, like in the show, but it wasn't like any plot recap. Yeah, pretty
Right.
much.
I will say I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to Tanjiro having like the god scent, because every time like when it first happened in the dub when I was watching it, I was like, oh shit, that's right, he has like strong sense of smell. It's like the weirdest thing because there's no texture to it. Like it's something that only he knows that he has, like unless he's explaining it or like talking about him having a scent or
Yeah.
smelling it. You know, you can't see his nose going.
There's no
You know what I
visual
mean? Like,
representation.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's mad weird, but
I always forget about it. He's sniffing the ticket and stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
That is kind of funny.
yeah. Good on him.
And then we get introduced to Mr. Rengoku, and he starts eating, and he's like, tasty. He says tasty in the dub. He's tasty.
Yeah. I love that.
It's awesome. No, it's hilarious.
It's great because they do stuff like that where it's like, oh, this is an anime protagonist type character acting weird. It's like, but like normally that just happens. But like in this, the entire train car is like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like Tanjiro his reactions are the best. He just like, okay, we get it. And he's like, where are you staring? Like,
what are you staring at?
I love how he just couldn't hold a conversation. He's like, oh, that's great. Good for you. And he just like ends every sentence. And you're like,
and he just keeps looking forward.
Yeah.
Like you don't look at Tanjiro at all.
Yeah, they end up having a shouting match like next to each other basically rather than at each other.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
hi.
Yeah.
Like he's the Rengoku shouting off into the distance, and Tanjiro's trying to like figure out what the hell is going on.
One last thing about the dub, because I wrote this down, is that just one last thing. I swear, it's Rengoku's voice actor is probably the worst part about that movie because he sounds like, I swear to God, he sounds like an alien impersonating a human.
Damn.
Sounded like a robot.
Yeah, that's tough.
Fam, Alex, don't give me that look. Y'all gotta watch the dub and tell me if I'm crazy.
I think
An alien impersonating a human, huh? I had to think about it. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Mark Zuckerberg has entered the chat.
Yeah, with the lizard shit that he does.
Jeez.
Um,
That is funny.
Zuck.
The Zuck. Oh my
The
god.
Zuck.
Yeah,
Zuck song. Yeah. I don't know. That's tough, man.
yeah,
He's gonna- Dang.
I will say in general, I think you guys hit the nail on the head in terms of expectations. I expected the film as a whole to have more consequence in terms of plot, for sure. You want to see the big baddie get defeated, which was,
Dude, they gave him so much. We're gonna talk about that.
yeah,
don't
we can get in there. Yeah, but it's like, I agree that you could miss this movie and cruise into season 2 just fine, basically. I think you lack a lot in terms of what happens in this movie, especially mentally, to essentially the three central characters, both in terms of like how this battle would shape you as a person, as well as especially Tanjiro, and then like the loss of the Hashira being and their perspective change, which I'll get into later, but the realization of like the massive staircase in front of them, of like, this is the skill gap. Like, this is what we have to get to. Like, this is insane.
Yeah,
So,
he was like, "Hey, yo, you took the first best step. There's 10,000 left, though." Like, so.
Yeah, I expected there to be like more consequence, but I can't really fault the movie for that. I think I wrote down like it ended like a season, like a mid-season finale as opposed to a season finale. It's like, okay, we're like, we've been introduced,
just crying.
we've been introduced to some dangerous people. It's like. There was a lot that went on. There's some dope action. You learned a little bit about the breathing techniques, stuff like that. But then, we still got more to do, a lot more to do. So, yeah.
Yeah. I had that. Yeah, I guess we'll get into the ending more, but I had that same exact feel for the most part. Yeah. So,
Good.
yeah. But I mean, they don't waste too much time, which is great. I mean, it's pretty much if they're not hitting you with like, the funny introductions to stuff, they start with the plot, like,
Yep.
Getting trapped in, so I don't know if there's anything else in between we want to talk about, but like the dream stuff had me worried for a hot second because I typically do not like episodes where like all the characters are dreaming and one wakes up and like they're not together, and so thankfully it's not the whole movie. And
It's not, but it is a very large chunk of the movie. It's a good 30-ish, 35 minutes of them.
They go in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie takes place in, or non-action, I guess, takes place in one of that. Well, I'll bring it up when we get to it. But yeah, so they start off. I think they talk about the tickets. The punching of the tickets is when they all fall asleep initially, because the blood is in the ink and that makes them fall asleep. And there you go. And so I believe the first two demons that Rengoku kills also operate within that dream state. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, I don't think.
Yeah, that was.
I thought
So
they killed. No, they killed them before.
I think that's post ticket punching though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
I'm
true. 'Cause
almost positive.
So I
he
think
killed
I
her
want to
in
say
there,
that's the intro into their dreams, them being like lulled into it or something like that. I don't actually know, but
yeah, I was unclear on that, but I guess that makes sense. If they punched the tickets, then the two demons were just a dream, I guess. Although, how they're not all dreaming together.
no.
Yeah, they were.
No.
Yeah, no, I
They
don't think that
they
was
introduce they introduce the concept of like that they're fading into the dream when after he kills the two demons and the three of them are like floating around him in like cartoonish
yeah.
fashion, and they're
Yeah,
like
that's true.
they're like
Big
train
bro,
us
big
train us
bro."
big bro
Yeah.
Rengoku, train us big bro Rengoku. Yeah. So they do. Yeah, and he's standing there laughing like that. It's great. Yeah. That's when they introduce the dream state. So I don't know exactly how they slip into that. It's a little vague. I think probably on purpose. But either way, they like this. I think it's the second one. Inosuke jumps in, and Rengoku's so fast that he like jumps in, carries Inosuke off, puts him down on the side, picks up the passenger, jumps out, and then puts the passenger down, and then jumps back in and like one shots the demon. And it's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is great tone setting. This is like what this guy's capable of. He just made this look easy as hell.
Yeah,
So that's what
made it look great
we're riding with.
for sure. Yeah, that's great setup. And then we're trapped in some dreams. Thankfully, I do think they like pay off with it. Like they don't spend too much time with like, oh, Zenitsu has a journey in his dream, and Inosuke does too, and frick me, like
He's a simp for Nezuko.
Yeah.
yes.
And it ends up being a massive mechanic of the movie.
Yeah,
I think Zenitsu's dream was mad hilarious, but
it is. Yeah, they just use them for like comedic value, and it's great. Like
Yeah, Inosuke's dream was pretty funny because he.
yeah, it's
Hey,
so
boss.
like,
Inosuke's
and
dreams.
the fucking the train is a spider and it's fast asleep, and then they have a splash page where they're all jumping on the train and it's like super fire. I want that on my wall
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Ponjito or whatever.
Yeah, so they all have their
Um,
separate ideal dream, which
Yeah.
like
I will say, when I watched it in dub, I didn't feel any sadness, man, because I was just so like detached from it because of how much I hated the voices. But when I watched it in sub, seeing Tanjiro in his dream world and seeing his family, like when he stops dead in his tracks and he sees his siblings and he just like starts bawling, like I cried. Like I cried and I knew what was happening and I cried. Like that's how much better the sub is for me. It was painful. That was so painful to watch.
yeah, the sounds of crying and pain that his voice actor is capable of making is just like so realistic, and you feel you feel the pain. Combined with the animation, is plenty of heart-wrenching scenes in this film for sure.
I was feeling it. I was definitely feeling it because just when I realized what was going on exactly, he's there. It's like, oh shit, his family is with him now, and it's kind of sad because you don't see too much of them. I mean, they die right in the first episode in the season, but he just wants to be with his family, and then that part hit me because I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was like it's something that's been done before. If you think about like that plot point of okay, I'm in a fake world, I can't live in the and I was like, okay, they're gonna do that again. But I feel like Demon Slayer, even if it does stuff that's been done, they do it so well that it's like it still hit me. Like there's specific things you can do that make it its own, and it just. Dang.
I think that was the thesis of my like feeling of the first season was that it's not groundbreaking in any way. It doesn't do anything new. But it does it so refined and in such a great way. Like it's hard to hate. It's just solid. Like even if you're not enthralled by it, like a lot of people are, you still have to respect it.
Yeah, it's got extremely strong fundamentals. Like you just Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it was. I enjoy like as part of his dream when the I guess the children serving the demon break into their like subconscious and.
Yep.
Like Tanjiro's was just like beautiful. Dang.
Oh man,
my man Tanjiro.
And
yeah,
dude,
that's what I was going to talk about.
He's so wholesome that his soul is guiding the guy, even though he wants to kill him. He's guiding him to his soul because he's so wholesome.
And just can't help it being wholesome.
Yeah,
he's such a fucking great guy, man.
That's what I was going to talk about as one of my favorite non-combat scenes in the entire movie is when that kid cracks into Tanjiro's subconscious, and it's just like that clear blue sky with a few dotted clouds, and it's like the like quarter inch of water on the ground that reflects everything peaceful and perfectly, and it's just like this is like inside his subconscious is the Western depiction of heaven, like that's like what his internal like existence is. And so then the sprites are so wholesome that they will help any intention, regardless of the fact that the intention is to end their existence. Like they're still being helpful, and it's like he's so pure that he moved someone whose only goal to escape their own torture was to just like destroy this glass ball. It's not like it's like blood and guts. It's not like he's gonna have to deal with destroying him directly. It's just like this representative thing. But the representative thing was so beautiful that it like completely rearranged his priorities. And he comes out of it and he's just like, "Thank you, please save me." Like when they meet in the real world. It was such a gorgeous sequence there.
Mm-hmm. Right, because when they do meet, that guy is the one who's hesitant to fight. He doesn't want anything to do with it.
Right.
He has no intention of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they immediately jump to action, and he's standing there like, "Nah, bro." Like,
yeah, that was
a nice little karate chop.
right.
Yeah, that was a half serious, half funny scene when they're all like desperate to still attack him, and he's just like sidestep, chop, sidestep, chop, sidestep, and they're all just like they just 1, 2, 3 like hit the floor like a ton of bricks. That sound effect that they have that they must play like 100 times of just like it sounds like a sandbag hitting wood planks. It's so good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. And then
so he's awake and.
But before Tanjiro
he...
wakes up, what I think the single cutest scene in the show is, or in the movie, is when Nezuko, like part of what helps Tanjiro get out of the dream is he smells Nezuko's blood, and what happens with Nezuko's blood is she headbutts him, and and gets the spurt of blood, and I don't know if it's before or after that works, but like. Either attempt 2 or 3 of Nezuko to try to get Tanjiro to wake up was like the forced head pat. She thought like the magical energy from patting the head of Nezuko would be enough to break the spell on Tanjiro. And it's like shit, worth a try, honestly. I'm surprised it didn't work, to be honest.
I think both times I saw it, I got an awe in the theater.
Yeah, it's so funny. She's just like, oh yes, dude, put his hand on my head. That'll work.
She's sitting over the seat handle, and she's just like, you know, they draw her eyes so impeccably well.
Mm-hmm.
They look like little candies.
Yeah,
and she doesn't talk.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Nezuko doesn't talk, so there you go.
There you go.
But,
no, she does not, and that's when Tanjiro is about to break out, and like Nezuko hadn't been with the family the entire time, and he's like running into the forest, and she appears out of nowhere, and that's the first time he's heard her voice in what, like 4 years, something like that. However long he's been training. Probably like 2 to 3 years, I think, something like that.
3.
Yeah. I think it's 3 max. Yeah, probably. So, first time hearing his only surviving family member's voice in 3 years, and he's just like, he doesn't even turn to face her. He just cries, and like the little one chases after him, and it's like I'm like tearing up in the theater because he's like running away from his family, and then the hardcore motherfucker, the most like mission focused, like I will do whatever it takes, just like. Do you guys have the nerve? I don't think I could have the nerve to commit suicide at all, let alone like that. Not like even if you realize it's a dream, like putting your sword up to your neck and like palming it through.
It is a pretty awful way to go for sure.
Oh man,
yeah.
I should have done.
It's like the universal rule that when you die in your dream, you wake up, quote unquote. That's like the myth, but.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they did that, and it was kind of a cool mechanic when he was fighting Homeboy, the lower one, where he just snaps out of it, and he like his eyes roll back in his head, and then he just snaps back into reality for like, you know, however long it takes him.
Yeah, it's a great moment. He's like, "Is it not working?" He's like, "No." He's just realizing suicide every single time. It's like this dude is insane. What the frick? That
was a great like villain
He's going
monologue
to kill
moment. That was a great villain internal monologue where it's like where they realize they're being overtaken or whatever, stuff like that, and he's the realization of no, he's just killing himself every time. Like the spell is working, he just keeps on killing himself. Was so intense. Tanjiro is the most hardcore dude on the planet. for that one.
For real.
And then he slices his head off, and then we're like, even me, I was like, man, that was too easy. Even though that scene was big baller, I was like, that was too easy.
The animation. Yeah, go ahead, David.
No, I mean, I'm just gonna say the same thing. When he freaking has the dragon, he like slices his head, and then the dragon just takes his head.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bro, I got the chills. I got the chills when I seen it. I was like,
Man. The
Couple
dragon,
times.
the dragon
Couple
roars as it comes across and it reaches its full form. Yeah, man.
Complete
Oh,
ear
it was
rape,
so
but it's
clean.
worth it.
And it's you when you brought it up, Trevor, you said the exact thing that it's like so obvious that the movie even says it itself. Where Tanjiro's like, that was too easy. Like that.
He literally says it for verbatim.
And then but he has like the logic behind of it being like, this guy should have been stronger than the one I couldn't kill. So I mean, obviously they've trained up since then. But he's like, yeah, that was like, that shouldn't have happened like that. So there's got to be something else going on.
Yeah, fuck you, boy. I'm a trained motherfucker.
And is it
such a weird morph?
Yeah.
It's that one, right, where he keeps on sending him into sleep with the spell. The first time with the mouth spell, and then the second time with the eyes.
With the eyeballs, yeah.
And I can't remember if it's the first or second time where he shows him like the tinted red pictures of his family. Okay, all right. So we'll go there. We'll do that when we get there then.
I when he was like, "Oh, I am the train," I was like, "Is that allowed?" I didn't know.
Is that allowed?
It was a really weird plot element. I'm not gonna lie. Like it kind of came off like really weird. While you guys were asleep, I fused with the train, and I'm like,
just like, huh?
What?
Homie said what?
What the fuck are you doing? What?
Yeah,
and then it just turns into like an intestine. Like the entire like car is an intestinal tract, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Reminded me of Doom Eternal, honestly, a lot.
Yeah.
Like the super goreness.
Go ahead, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah.
The CGI kind of looked a little weird to me. I don't know.
I love the CGI, man. I don't know. I wanted to be a critic because I usually hate like that 3D aspect of it, but I thought they did it really fucking well.
I think they did the eyes well, but the actual
Yeah.
tubes and stuff is kind of weird to me.
It was a little wonky. That was a low point of the movie for me because of the fact that I just detest the like bubbling flesh texture a lot in general. And then when they make bubbling flesh tentacles, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like we're getting a little nastier here than we really need to, I think. I don't know, man. Like it was like they weren't trying to do nothing in any respect. It was just like I just don't like what I'm looking at, and I'm looking at it for far too long.
Yeah, I'm with Alex too. I was expecting. I mean, it's not terrible, but I was like, okay, the show looks amazing. They're focusing down and making a movie of it, like hitting theaters. Every part of it's gonna look amazing. And then I was like, if this is the climax of the movie, this is like reminding me of some like 1990s stuff. I don't know, just a little bit. Like we might look back on this like this is a little dated.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still bridging the gap when it comes to like anime being still hand drawn, but incorporating those 3D world elements.
It's interesting because a lot of times it won't look great, but UFO table or UFO table or whatever, like they incorporate it when you don't even notice it. Like they do the 3D stuff in the show to like do different angles, and it looks great. But like it's not making a whole entity out of like CG and stuff, I guess. So
gotcha.
But.
Yep.
I thought the train looked really nice too. They did that.
The train did.
Tech.
A lot of the 3D stuff looked very good in my opinion. I think it's just like I had the texture that they used for like you said, intestinal is a good word to describe it. Is like
it's essentially what it is because if you think of his body, like if they were in the back, that was his intestinal tract.
You're inside me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said too.
Yeah, it does.
I can feel it moving around.
Yeah, that was like that. I was definitely in the same camp of like, is this allowed? Is this allowed?
Is this allowed? Is this allowed? Where's the mannequin?
Especially when they're just like, if it's a train, it has a head, and I was thinking like, okay, so or if it's a train, it has a head.
No,
if it's a demon, it has a head.
Demon,
If every demon has a head, whatever. And I was thinking, like, okay, how, like, are they going to get metaphorical about it? But no, just the lead car just is the head, and the connection between the lead car and the
what did you expect?
trailing car is the neck.
It's a
like,
fucking train.
I was like, okay, like, I guess if we're gonna pull out this metaphor, we might as well just keep it simple to some degree. So that's fine. Yeah. So
my man had an Attack on Titan nape.
Yeah, that's true.
How'd he go for
nape?
The nape of the neck. Yeah, dude. So at that point,
like, what do you say?
how does Rengoku end up waking up? Is it?
He just has a beautiful survival instinct, and he just chokeholds that chick for 4 minutes, like, straight. Like homegirl, like, I don't know how she didn't die, because, like,
me neither, dude.
So he quote unquote wakes up from his dream, right? He's like, oh, he has such great survival instincts, and he's holding her in the fucking air. And then you go back to Tanjiro's dream for 15 minutes, and then you come back, and then he's still holding homegirl. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Just staring at, like, there's a good portion of this movie where a man is choking out a small girl. Like, a child.
It's very true, dude. He's just like, like Tanjiro wakes up, and that's, like, already going on, and he's like, well, Rengoku seems okay, and then just, like, moves on.
And then they don't like, I don't think she ever gets let go. I don't remember
well,
them
I think
showing
I
her let go.
know the first thing he has Nezuko do is burn the ropes, so then they're no longer under, like, immediate threat from the people invading. And then that's when they all wake up, but so that's when the Slayers are still asleep, but the kids wake up and he karate chops the 3 of them, and then the 4th kid is just chill because he's seen Tanjiro's subconscious, and so that handles that. And then Nezuko gets to work on waking up Inosuke first, I think. And so while the fight with Lower One is going on, he has a name, but who cares? Homie got decapitated. Get fucked, nerd.
Call him Handjob.
Why? Oh, I know why. Okay, never mind. Okay. So then wakes up Inosuke. Inosuke helps out with the decapitation of the train itself. And while that's going on, then this is why I'm trying to remember how Rengoku wakes up, because he just wakes up.
Yeah, I don't think they show it like he's choking the girl, and then
one way or another he breaks out.
Tanjiro's at the
just burn the rope,
and you just like you see him like just burn through the entire train and like gets to Tanjiro, and it's like,
is it implied that he figures out suicide is the answer as well?
No,
I don't think so.
Or does he just break out through other methods?
Isn't he the one?
I don't know. Either way,
he's like, I'm gonna keep an eye on these 5 trains, and then you guys handle all of that.
Yeah. So in between the, like, okay, that was too easy, and Inosuke waking up, and they realize, okay, it's the full train. He's like, I'm gonna feast on these 200 humans, and then Rengoku wakes up, comes down most of the train, is like, yeah, I hacked him up so bad it's going to take him a minute to regenerate. Here's the battle plan. I take 5 cars, Zenitsu and Nezuko take 3 cars, you guys go find the neck and cut it off. Okay, break. And he goes. And so it's like, okay, sick. And so that's why I wrote down freaking like, if this were Pokemon, Zenitsu's type is the exact opposite of the Lower One's type, because it's like he puts people to sleep, but Zenitsu does by far his best work while he's asleep. So, like, putting Zenitsu to sleep is half the work of, like, getting Zenitsu to kick ass. So the demon just, like, shoots himself in the foot. Zenitsu never wakes up from his dream. It's all just reflexes protecting Nezuko within the 3 cars. He never wakes up until the demon actually gets killed.
Protect. With the air bubble coming out of his nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's the perfect counter, because also the demon's body is a long vertical line, and that's like Zenitsu just slices through like everything.
Yeah,
which is a great like moment, but I feel like he doesn't get much time to shine in like an action sense in this movie, which is okay. But I do like
almost
the moment
none at all.
he gets to just like
he gets such a baller moment, because it zooms out on the train and you see his lightning self just go through the windows, and you just
that one is cool.
Man, he's kicking ass, like
that's
and
all
you love
needed.
it. There is like that physiological change where Tanjiro's up at the front of the train and he's like, was that thunder? He's like, because he can hear it all the way at the back. And then
when Inosuke like wakes up and he just hacks through the fucking roof and
Yep.
he just jumps out. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. And you get a hilarious payoff of like, because that's like at the end of the season 1, Inosuke thinks the train is like the lord and like the master of the land and stuff. He's like, he's
Yes.
gonna kill it, and
And
he
he
mentions this, and then it's like
He says it in the very beginning of the movie. He's
Yeah.
like, the lord of the land or whatever.
Yeah.
He just runs into it.
and then it's like the train is the demon. He's like, I knew it.
Because in his dream, he's like, it's him as the leader with the little party of demi-humans, like the animal mascots that he has behind them, and his like buck teeth raccoon version of Zenitsu and everything. And like they're going to kill the train, which is a demon, like we said earlier. And then he wakes up and he's like, I wish I could do his laugh because it's so iconic. It's like like it's so in your throat, like cackle, like it's so good.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was right all along, like you said. It's like this is the ultimate enemy. We get to kill the train. Let's go. Let's fucking go. And so
Yeah.
We can't skip over Zenitsu like combating his little child that goes to kill his spiritual core.
Oh my
That shit
god.
was mad funny too because he just comes in with the shears.
Yeah.
He's like, what is that noise?
Yeah.
What is a guy doing in here? You parasite!
Yeah.
The way they draw his eyeballs just come out of his head, and he's just
Yeah.
like,
It's so
fucking
absurd.
awesome.
Yeah.
Zenitsu was a baller in this.
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah.
He was.
He does well,
Still
yeah.
offensive.
It's the exact demon he can shine against, though. Like we're saying, is like he did most of the work to get Zenitsu to like his most baller form.
But just even him just being a human in this is like he wasn't unbearable. Like he was like obviously the worst part of the show in season 1. So to see him not only be bearable but to be pleasant is awesome.
Yeah, they
balanced
didn't.
out.
Well, yeah. They gave him a whole 2 minutes of screen time. So
Yeah,
I gave him more than that.
they gave him just enough, I think. And there's no scene
I think
where
so.
there's not like a big scene where they're about to go off and kill it, and he's like, "Don't do it!" Like he has like one scene where he's
In the
there,
very
but
beginning, and it was still
Yeah.
funny to me. Like he's just like sobbing on the ground. He gives it the ticket. Like
it's fine. It's like,
That was kind of funny where he was
that was
semi
awesome, man.
he was semi losing his shit, but he still just like had his ticket ready to like
Yeah.
give to the guy. Yeah, that was kind of funny.
It's very
Yeah, that was
good.
pretty good. He's like, okay, here you go.
Oh. yeah. I mean, basically, well, we
I
might
think Trevor's
cut
just
this.
closing his shades or something. Yeah, I didn't want to. We were gonna change topics, but I think. But yeah, so.
God,
Yeah.
more than shit.
They basically just fight the train. I mean,
Yep, kill
they
the
fight
train, and that was,
So
that was
that's-
an awesome sequence.
That's when Inosuke is a bad matchup for the demon in his own special way, in that he's wearing the boar mask the entire time, so the eye spell doesn't work on him because he can't like look him in the eyes. And while
Yeah.
that's happening the entire time, Tanjiro is like going in and out of the dream and like killing himself and waking up and trying to kill himself with his eyes, like trying to wake up with his eyes closed, and like puts the katana up to his neck in real life. And you're like, I mean, we talked about this with like subversion of expectations. It's like you can't give Tanjiro that much plot armor and then expect us to think he's actually going to kill himself like
Right.
by accident. Like that can
I
never
didn't-
happen, but it is an intense moment. It is like a cool aspect of that power
Yeah.
of like you can get a strong demon slayer to fucking kill themselves on accident if they don't have backup, which thankfully we have Inosuke to say, don't kill yourself, idiot, follow me.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's
do you think it's possible, or have you ever woken up without opening your eyes first? You just wake up mentally, but you don't open your eyes?
All the time.
I have
kinda
never
weird.
done that.
feel like
I don't think
have.
I've ever done that.
I don't think I have
Cameras
either.
Dang.
Yeah, pretty
I feel like it's
frequently.
that
I'll
Squidward meme where it's just your eye.
Yeah.
just cracking awake with the glass shattering. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there's been quite a few times where I've woken up and been like, okay, well, I'm awake and I can feel that it's like light in my room, but I just don't open my eyes. And I'll have kind of like an internal, and it's like it might be still kind of a subconscious thing. I have this thing as well, where I'll like hallucinate that I'm having a conversation or something like that when I'm like semi-conscious, but it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
me
back to the
too.
movie.
Yeah, this ain't Variety Box.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, they're just like slashing through these tentacles for like some minutes, and then they find the conductor. I mean, Inosuke finds the head, and he's just like, he basically says,
"No, keep going. I'm sorry."
He basically just says like, "You're sus. Why the frick are you all the way up here?" Like
he does say that, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a powerful moment where they kill the train, whatever, and like they just get popped off of it because it's going off the tracks now, and homie stabs him. And like there's a whole sequence that goes on, and there's a hugely powerful moment where he's like, I can't die, because if I die, that means he's a murderer. He's always thinking of other people, man. It is insane. He's so well written, it hurts.
Yeah, dude. That is absurdly good writing. It's Tanjiro's character to a T, like you're saying. It's like his entire motivation in that very moment is not dying, so that he doesn't have to like put guilt onto someone else or put like a crime onto someone else. Because like in that
when
moment,
he tumbles down the hill, he's like, "Yo, go check on him." But homie stabbed you. Like his leg's broken. He's never gonna walk again. Just go check on him, man. He just walks around like with his fucking sword doing this shit.
it's okay. He's throwing a fit, like going to help the conductor. He says like, "Oh, he shattered his leg underneath the train," and it's like, and Tanjiro's like, fine, fuck it. Then look at it this way: he served the justice that he deserved. Like, go help him. And Inosuke's fine, whatever. And the steam spouting out.
I'll do it for you. You're my underling.
Yeah. Because go ahead, David.
Basically doesn't know how it works. It's just like, you're my underling, so I'll listen to what you want to like. Okay.
It's really good.
It's like it's kind of opposite of that, but we'll roll with it.
But they have, that's the moment that I was referencing earlier, where you see fractions of Tanjiro's dreams again, of the nightmares now that he's being put into mid-battle, of his family and his father and his mother, like saying like, why'd you die instead of us, like preying on his survivor's guilt. It's like, how dare you go on living such a happy life after we were slaughtered. It's like, you should have been here to protect us and all that stuff. And as
my family would never say that.
Yep. As he launches into the Kagura dance fire move, he screams at him like, my family would never say anything like that to me. And that's when right before that, Inosuke breaks open the metal, and then he uses the Kagura dance flame wheel move to cut through to decapitate the demon train. It's like, oh my god, what a freaking scene! That's
yeah. But now that I'm realizing, I think we did misplace it. I think he has the nightmare, and then he says, "Don't you ever insult my family," and he's still using the water breathing. And then
is that the first time?
I might be misremembering that.
Which it's almost like it could go. Yeah, I think I mixed that up in my head too.
All right, Demon Slayer scholars, down in the comments, let us know which spot does that scene actually go at.
Christ. I'll go watch it for a third time and confirm for you guys.
Yeah,
it's a great moment,
which I wouldn't mind doing, by the way.
The first moment's a great moment, and then the second one is a great moment. Does the flame wheel
for sure?
Yeah,
confirmed.
And we can just kind of jump to the final battle, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know where it is.
I was gonna say the same thing of like that was too easy, but like in a different vein where like they cut it. It's like, okay, you're not gonna really red herring us twice with like the same thing of like, oh, we thought we decapitated it and then it's wrong.
Because they were gonna do that because he like crawls out as a glob and he's like, am I really dying? And then he actually dies. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I thought Tanjiro was gonna have some sort of an exchange with him, like he does with a lot of the other demons he killed, where they talk about being at peace, finally being slain by Tanjiro and that kind of a thing.
Yeah,
but he just kind of monologues for like 20-30 seconds and then just fades.
Yeah, he's just like I was asked I could never be an upper demon. So.
I was asked.
I never got to feed.
Yeah.
The Lower Moon's voice actor
something else was happening because
I feel like
you knew it was 2 hours long and that wasn't 2 hours.
That's what I was getting into was like, this isn't close to 2 hours. Like, it's not like we're at like 1:30 and maybe they can do some other stuff of like wrap up and maybe a cliffhanger into season 2 or something like that. It's like there's like a solid like 40 minutes of this movie left at least. Like, I wasn't timing it, but it's like we still got time to kill. Like, how are we gonna spend this time? And then Lower 3 says, "What's up, boys? I'm ready to scrap."
Yeah, which is
Upper 3.
Yeah,
Upper 3. You're right. Upper 3. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like
whose name I have written somewhere.
I'm terrible at
that.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll remember it.
Akaza.
But Akaza. I'm terrible at keeping track of like the time during movies. So I thought it was over, and I was like, now that feels like a mid-season thing that was not necessary for a movie. And then Akaza shows up, and it's like, all right, he makes it like the entire movie just goes, all right, frick you for thinking that.
I'm really glad that you were wrong and that the movie didn't end right there, because I would have been kind of let down a little bit.
Wouldn't have been.
I gotta be honest. My timing with the movie was way off, just because I didn't want it to end, but I also didn't mind when it would end because I had to pee most of the time, and I was just sitting there like I'm definitely not getting up in the middle of this movie.
Yeah. You would have missed the whole gang.
Yeah, and so I didn't know what time was what. I'm like, all right, maybe this feels like an hour, maybe this feels like an hour and a half. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just holding it.
Yeah,
I'm just holding it. It felt longer when I watched it in dub because I was just like dreading every moment. But gosh,
dang, I gotta check it out now. But
go ahead, man. It's worth your time, honestly.
When it comes to streaming, I will. Yeah. So leads into just
the last battle, baby. The very last battle.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed that my boy Tanjiro doesn't get any shine in this, but that's fine. It kind of. I think his like the way they took him out of the fight was mega lame. Like he just got stuck with a needle, and he's like, "Oh, you severed a blood vessel."
I feel like this is what we were meant to see. Because
for sure. I'm so glad that he got the time to pop off, but like they took him out in such a way. He got stabbed with a needle, bruh.
I feel like there's been worse ways. It was an ice pick. I mean, those have been known to kill people. Like, I feel like
that was worse. An ice pick.
I think so. It looks like basically an ice pick.
That thing's like 5 inches long. That's gonna poke a hole in your organs. So,
yeah, there's been worse ways the protagonists have been taken out of a fight. I feel like,
I guess. Also, it was like he was making the move for Inosuke. It's not like he just got stabbed because he was sloppy or something like that. But I mean, I'm completely fine with Tanjiro being uninvolved. This is what I wanted to see. I think that Alex was getting into is like I wanted to see Hashira versus Upper Moon. Like I want to see like one of the baddest dudes from their side versus one of the baddest dudes from our side. Like what's the skill cap? Like what is the top of this mountain that Tanjiro is looking to climb? And that's what he needed to see as well, which is the sort of the device they use for the rest of the time they have in the movie is like showing off this is the mountaintop. This is what you need to become if you want to have a chance at stopping the demons, at killing Kibutsuji Mugen like you say you're going to. So yeah.
I mean, and he
kicked Michael Jackson?
Homie's ass.
Yes, Michael Jackson.
He kicked Homie's fucking ass, man. The only reason he didn't die was because he was a demon. Like Homie had no chance against Rengoku. I swear to God, if he wasn't immortal.
He keeps it illustrates it, like he keeps saying like, you know, if I was a human I'd be dead. Like if you were a demon you could have survived this, and you see it, like he keeps chopping his limbs off, he grows them back in 1 second. Like bruh, what am I supposed to do?
It's like it's his entire fighting style is like it opens up a lot of opportunity to strike your opponent if you just don't fucking care that you lose an arm doing so. It's like if you can sacrifice an arm on literally every punch, then you can land way more. Is what it burns down to, and other limbs as well. So it's just like he can sacrifice basically never playing defense and always being on offense because he can lose as much limb as he wants to. And so that's
I did like his technique as well.
That's what they talk about. Yeah,
his air type is.
Yeah. The animation is nutty for this scene.
They put all the budget in this one, bro.
This is another moment where I got the chills just from watching them fight and the fire going crazy, and
the tiger coming out with the flame, like whatever that was. I was like, son of a bitch.
It's like 20 minutes in a row.
Yeah, there'd already been great animation, and I was like, okay, has there been anything as good as like the peak of the animation in the show? I don't think so. Like episode 19 was crazy animated, like, and then I'm like,
boy remembers the episode and everything. Jesus.
Yeah, it was like, you know, but and then this stuff just
Wait, spoiler alert! Hold on, spoiler alert. What episode is 19? What is that?
That's when Taijiro first does the fire breathing, and he has like he goes through all the freaking webs and he cuts the dude.
Okay. He's in the forest.
Yeah.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and they just, oh my, I was even in the battle. I was like, is this the freaking height of what they're gonna do? And then he does the the breathing, the fire breathing.
When he
knife.
calls it himself,
Yeah,
like he
Rengoku.
calls it, dude.
Holy
I was so hyped.
I want to say that
so full of himself, and I'm here for it.
I want to
Oh
say
my
that
God.
he's actually shares the name with the form and not the other way around.
Dang,
Because apparently the word Rengoku in Japanese means purgatory, which is cool as fuck. So I think his surname, his family name, and that breathing form are the same because they're like taken from the same place as opposed to they mean each other, you know.
which
I'm
is
still gonna roll with it being his
That's
name.
that's
and that.
that's
So I think
that's
it's
what I
bad.
wanted it to be as
I think
well,
it's
which is
baller as
like
fuck.
which is fine. Honestly, that's a
Yeah.
fine way to look because it's so good. Because like it ends. It was really cool to me too because the way I initially looked at it was like he named it after himself, and the move ends, which we can talk about, is like he goes in, cuts down and across, and like gets it in further than the guy thought he was going to, and then he like. Which is
Switches
basically impossible with a katana because they talk about it's like vertically strong, not horizontally. He like in his cut switches direction and cuts back up like through his head, which should be basically impossible to do. Like, so it's very, very cool. And it ends in a pillar of flame, and Hashira means pillar. They're the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps. And so like the fact that he shares the name. He shares his name with the flame breathing. They're specific about that for a reason that we haven't been told. The flame breathing form that ends in a massive pillar of fire is his name. Was sick. It's so cool to me.
yeah.
I will say, dude, he got blue balls like twice in
It's
this,
so
where he
bad.
just like at a certain point in the movie, I was like, especially the second time watching, I was like, he should have killed him. Like, I don't think that they should have let him go. I think I think Rengoku should have died, but I thought he deserved that kill.
Yeah.
Like homie
I
parries
think it's interesting.
homie parries well, like it pisses me off because homie parries the shit. So like right like before that whole sequence that you just described, I knew it wasn't gonna kill him because he parried it and it didn't go where he wanted it to.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think what's crazy about it is the fact that he just put in all this work, and you watched him put in all this work, and he still couldn't do it. That's how strong the upper tier demons are. So it kind of sets the mood going forward. Like, damn, even he couldn't do it, and he's so strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really conflicted on whether it's the right choice because I feel like I've been watching. You know, I guess we won't mention what it is, but like a decent amount of shonen where like the bad guy gets away after a super hype fight, and I'm like, not again. And then
it's kind of trash. And then they even pile on to they put salt in the wound where Tanjiro fires up his fucking fire sword and he's just like, hey yo, yeet, and just goes like Black Ops 1 Tomahawk style on him and just loses his sword because it goes right through his chest, does nothing.
Yeah, that's the part that left me with a bad taste.
Homie walks away with the fucking sword in his neck, bro. I was so pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, so
No, what kind of forest are they in that the sunlight don't touch no parts of it?
thick one, apparently, man. A thick ass forest.
Big canopy on that one.
My God. Yeah. No, that's the part that especially left me with a bad taste in my mouth was like, you see Tanjiro finally get to a point where he can do something, and he the flames leave his mouth as he just javelin tosses that thing on a straight line, however far he throws it, and he spears him straight in the chest, but it just does nothing. It's like I wanted it to do something. Even if it was like, you know, some like weird tracking shit or something like that, where like a piece breaks off and the ravens can track it or something, like I don't know. But he does this super cool thing and yeets his you know, very unique Nichiren sword at this guy. And it just does nothing. He just he just yells a monologue after him, which the monologue was like kind of cool and valuable, I guess. But I don't know. It felt a little empty.
Bro.
Yeah. But
it was literally Rengoku's stronger. He didn't lose. That was like I know that's what he says in sub, but it's a little more artfully put.
And I can be convinced of that. It's like in anime, you know, we just talked about this for 10 minutes or whatever. You want that big reward. You want you want effort to be rewarded with, you know, results is what we were talking about. And it's like he just doesn't get the kill, so therefore it, like, quote unquote doesn't matter. But on paper, Tanjiro is right in saying, like, if Rengoku didn't do what he did, if he wasn't there, like, stalling and risking his life and ultimately giving his life, then that upper three would have just torn through the entire train that they had just worked so hard to save and just killed all those 200 people. And so, like, he's still doing something. It's not like his efforts are to no avail, but you still want that kill. Like, you still want, after all those moves come out, for there to be, like, that ultimate result, like we get with the decapitation of the train, where, like, the final move comes through and you know, is
especially when
animated
all
and
the
flashes
budget
and the music peaks and all that stuff.
It's allocated toward that last fight. You just want it. You want it so badly.
Yeah.
And they even cut the fucking music. There's nothing that happens except for the sword slicing through his flesh, and that's all you get to hear. And then it clinks when he twists it, and he goes right back up.
And it's such a and then he, like, when he's about to kill him, he has, like, the sword, he, like, jams it back in his neck, and he's slowly, like, pushing it in, and, like, the sun is coming up, and you're like, if he, like, just barely cuts his head off, and it would be, like, insane and, like, brutal and, like, just the freaking end all fight. But on the other hand, it's not, I don't think it's a bad decision. Like, I've seen fights where the dude gets away, and I feel like it was just a bad decision. And this is, like, they're trying to make a point, like Cameron was talking about and stuff. And, like, you know, I think it leads to like the most beautiful moment of the movie in a way, because it's like he saves everybody, and he sees his mom, and he's like, you know, she basically just says, "I'm proud of you, like, you did your duty." And it's just like that was his duty. He wants to protect everybody, and like it goes to the flashback of, you're strong, that means you protect weak people. Like, that's it. Like, you have a duty to protect the weak people. And it's like the fact that he still is questioning whether he fulfilled his duty after he fought to the death so that no one else would die. He saves all the other demon slayers and all the civilians. Like, did I freaking do it? And she's like, yeah, I'm proud of you.
In canon,
and he even makes a statement to welcome Nezuko. Like,
that was fantastic.
Too.
Yeah, because I mean, the validation from one of the upper ranking members goes a long, long way for Tanjiro's mental state at the very least. But yeah, I mean, in canon, 20 years old that man is.
Dang.
Rengoku is 20. Okay. He spent his entire life training as a demon slayer. Like, literally his entire purpose was to become a Hashira, and he does it, and he you know, that's what David said at the very beginning, is it is a good way to look at this movie as a whole, is it's more about Rengoku than it is Tanjiro in a lot of ways, where it's like, this is his ultimate achievement as a Hashira, is because they talk about it early on, is like they were sending demon slayers to solve this problem, and they were just going radio silent. And so they sent one of their biggest, baddest dudes to go solve the problem, and he, one way or another, he pulls it off. So, but yeah, that was. Yeah. I'm a sucker for all the cliches they throw at us during that fight, with the villain monologuing back and forth with the hero, of, like, you know, it's honestly a good version, in my opinion, of, like, the join the dark side, we have cookies kind of a argument, where he's like, you know, you can never die and be old forever, or not be old forever, but be young forever, essentially, and get stronger and train with me. And this is what the when they wax poetic, when they wax philosophical, and we were talking about that, sometimes I'm sure that gets lost in translation in the dub. But one of the parts is, he says, growing old and dying is what gives meaning and beauty to the fleeting span of a human life. It's precisely we age and die that our lives have value and nobility. Strength is not a word that means much in regard to the flesh. He's like just a philosopher while he is unleashing these moves.
Yeah, that's great.
I think I'm in agreement with David, where it's hard to say if this is the right choice to make. I mean, we know that they're building layers. They know what they're doing for sure as storytellers. We've seen it at the end of the first season with the main demon, and he's building up his army. So I think they've done it to establish the sense of this is who he was, this is the legacy that he's kind of leaving behind, and yeah, we're down to a top Hashira,
Yeah.
you know, and
Yep.
he still wasn't able to kill the demon, so that just goes to show what they're building. They're building some deep lore that
For
you're getting
sure.
invested in now.
It's gonna
Yeah.
be a hella war, brother.
It's gonna be crazy. I don't know how long the series is gonna go, but I'm here for. I don't give a frick, bro. Like,
I am here for it too, brother. I will tell you.
I mean, that's like Alex just completely said. It's a great world building, and then like, I mean, Tanjiro's freaking desperate monologue is great character like setup for like, he's just like, frick, dude. Like, you guys show up in the night, freaking are immortal, basically, kill us, and then think that you are dope and like you're winning stuff. Like, he's a
Yeah.
freaking human, and he freaking did his job, and freaking like he's stronger than you. Like, he's just so freaking mad.
Yeah.
And if they pay that off in the future, that could be amazing. Like,
I think
Yeah.
they will. I don't think
Yeah.
the blue balls is that.
I mean,
makes
that would
sense.
be like cucked beyond belief. So yeah, like,
No, I think they're gonna do that for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the season 2, it got confirmed for this year, right?
Oh frick, really?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
been
that's-
confirmed
that
for a
was
little bit, I
when-
think.
That was when the
Well,
movie
I
got
will
confirmed
say-
for the
I
United
will say
States.
one
So
thing. One last
Mhm.
thing about the movie: when it ends, it hits hard for me when
Oh
the bird is flying to each of the Hashira,
yeah,
and they're all finding out the news, and they're all just like, oh, "Dang, it,
Yep.
it needs
one of
more
them,
words."
one of the chicks don't give a shit. She just keeps walking.
yeah. They all
Is it the butterfly chick or whatever?
No, it's
No.
not. It's not.
Which
Nah.
one is it? I forget.
I don't remember. I don't fucking.
It's the one
remember
that
any of the
looks
names.
more childlike. They don't really communicate
yeah,
any.
yeah, yeah.
They don't really communicate
She's
any
walking in a
emotions.
forest.
Yeah, they don't really communicate any emotions like during the regular show. So that's like a character kind of a trait, supposedly.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I like that scene a lot because it's like they all keep in character of how they would react, but you can tell at least the vast majority are broken up in some way. Like the
Yeah.
butterfly chick, like she doesn't even cry, but she's just like, frick, like,
yeah,
and like, yeah, it's like, dang, that's so good, and
Okay.
like, yeah,
You got the homie who's always crying about everything, and he,
yeah. Yeah, the one dude has his Aaron Yeager moment. He's just, we're gonna eradicate all the demons, like the freaking angry dude.
Yeah.
Just-
Right.
yeah.
I think that's the one whose apprentice is voiced by Bakugo's Japanese VA. So
okay.
look
Nice.
forward to that.
Yeah. Shorten, yeah. Yeah, I like, the speech by our man at the end. Just freaking beautiful. It's kind of like, I'm gonna leave you on this message. Set your heart ablaze. It's like like we said, it's like standard shonen stuff, but written very well, and they earn it. And it's like said in a beautiful way, and like it could actually inspire you instead of like, oh, follow your dreams, bro.
Right.
It's,
It's not so much surface level,
Yeah.
themes where it's just like, oh, you can get it right as you read it. Like,
Yeah,
it's sort of something to take on with you after you're done watching the movie.
yeah.
It's hitting me pretty solidly now. The extreme foreshadowing the movie actually does with the basically telling you that a character is going to die by starting the movie off with the Demon Core Master walking through the graveyard listing the names of his dead children.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Brutal.
That's brutal foreshadowing. This
Fuck
movie,
all that. Give me
this
your
movie hit
rating.
really hard in a lot of ways, for sure.
Yes.
Give me your
man.
fucking rating. I need it.
We do need the ratings, man.
I need it.
And it wasn't okay. I can go. It wasn't too hard to rate. I thought about it for a bit. I like to think about them. The rating is not the end all be all, but it was pretty easy to come to for this one. I was like, okay, it has some stuff where I was like, dang, I hope that's not the whole movie. And then it kicked into dummy gear at the
Any
end.
fricko mode.
Got me choked up with Rengoku's death. Beautiful, great action. So I give it an 8.5, which is really great for me. That's in case people interpret that wrong.
You don't have to preface that.
Yeah, okay. It's a very high score for me. I loved it, and I'm very excited for the future of Demon Slayer.
Fuck yeah.
I think me and David are on the same wavelength because I was in my head thinking 8.5. That's where I put it.
Nice. Yes, dude.
What about you, Cam?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, there was some parts where it was like we're not sure exactly what they're doing, so that like kind of takes away. But maybe that's for the best in the long run. But I think I definitely gave this season 1 as a whole a 10. I didn't like the movie as a whole quite as much as that whole thing. Obviously, it's apples to oranges in that cliche, but just all in all, I think I'll give it a 9.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
When I first saw it in dub, I gave it a solid 6.
Yo, the
Yikes.
dub is in your head
ass.
rent free.
I believe you.
Dude, that dub, bro, I swear to God, I'm never going to let that down. That was a 6 for sure. I was like, I had to watch it again. And thank God I did. I'm on the same wavelength as y'all. I felt an 8.5 to a 9. I couldn't tell which one I felt more, but
yeah,
I love the movie. I thought it was really dope. Super excited for more David Slayer.
And according to Crunchyroll, it is confirmed for summer 2021. So.
Yeah, definitely. I am definitely watching that as it comes out. Just like
I might have to. I don't know.
You have to, brother. That's gonna be a hype ass show to watch like that. So
imagine if we get to a state where we're alternating between this and Jujutsu Kaisen. God dang. Let's get it, boys.
Jujutsu Kaisen has a movie coming out like fucking winter of 2022, so next year.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Well, yeah. So look forward to an abundance of anime box.
Yeah,
we will be talking about it.
An extra special episode today, everybody. So hope you all enjoy, man. It's definitely been real. I'm hyped. The theater experience for anime was dope. I hope this movie does well in the States, so it's just like becomes a normal thing in a way. Like
I gave it $30, so it better be doing good.
A man is supporting out here for sure. So yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And freaking set your heart ablaze, you fricks. Get out there and do it.
Get out there and do it.
Yep. Not sure the box office totals yet, but it is fighting pretty hard amongst Mortal Kombat. The anime on opening night, I can say the anime presence was real. There was a dude dressed straight up as Tanjiro cosplay to see the movie. He didn't have the Hanafuda earring, so he wasn't doing it. But
he's a poser.
But yep, like Trevor, like we said, I hope it does well so that we can enjoy more anime movies in theaters because it was a dope experience. Yep, I love this movie. I love being able to talk about it, and I love you all.
Nice.
For sure. If you want to share your thoughts on this episode or on anything we talk about here, you can find us on at Unboxing Life Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and r/Unboxing Life Podcast, and of course in the YouTube comments and the Apple Podcast reviews, all that good stuff. I have for the anime episodes been saying Sayonara Tomodachi, which I was loosely translating to like goodbye friends, but based on the tonality and the politeness of Japanese, I've done more research and found out that Sayonara is most closely translated to goodbye forever. And we want to see you back here. So that one's currently in the shop. We're gonna leave that there for now because I want to see you guys again. So I'll get something more accurately translated. But until then, I'll say just take care of yourself, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Sweet. I just looked up the stats for the box office for Mr. Demon Slayer. $22.5 million.
Okay.
Which is absolutely fucking fantastic for an anime
Opening
movie in the
week.
States. Yeah, especially given that Mortal Kombat only did like $1 million better, like 23 million. So
I believe with the global release, it's become the top grossing anime film of all time worldwide. And then I think this weekend made it the largest foreign film release in U.S. history.
Wow. Okay.
It's good shit.
Nice.
Yes.
If there's one anime that deserves it, it's Demon Slayer. So
hell yeah, baby.
Glad to be alive.
Been waiting since
in the time of
October.
anime. It is one hell of a time to be an anime fan for sure. I'm glad that I started when I did last year. Actually, it's been over a year since I started Persona 5. I think I bought it like mid-April. Like maybe 418 was like the first trophy I ever got on it. So yeah, it's been over a year since that shit changed my life, and glad to be on a podcast talking about these fucking awesome shows and these movies. And like we said, hopefully this movie does well enough to warrant having more releases like this. So This could be like the next blockbuster-esque thing, like, you know, it's carrying the torch that MCU left off, I guess.
That would be dope. Yeah.
That would be really dope. But yeah, this is a great episode. Love you guys. And peace out, baby.